Hello and welcome to Keep Hope Alive podcast. And we have an amazing show for you today. I got Domo Jones with us. I call her the 1 billion brave. She is an author, a business owner, and a podcast host. She has so much to tell us and been through her own journey, it looks like, talking to her and reviewing everything about her. She's an amazing woman. So I'm so ready to get started. So thank you for coming on to our show.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm excited. I'm super excited. It's about to be a great show.
Oh, yes, yes. That's what I try to aim it to be. Fun, educational, great, always smiling, always positive energy, and let's share it to the world. So that is how I look at things through my life,
Yes.
and I want the word to be spread. Well, I have a quick question for you before we do get started. Now, let's say out of the past 15 years, how many weddings have you been to?
Oh, let's put a number out there. Let's say like a solid 7.
A solid 7. That's a
A
lucky
solid,
number. So
solid 7.
that's awesome. So usually if you were the guest and you were working in or working, well, I work because I'm a certified
Right, right.
painter and photographer. If you were walking into the ceremony, usually there is something that the guests need to sign. What is that one thing?
Oh, I know. I know this. We're gonna say the guest book.
Yay! Awesome. That is right. So one of our biggest sponsor here is lifeonrecord.com. Instead of having the guest book, they do a vintage rotary phone. So when the guests are walking in, they can pick up the phone and leave that special message. Congratulations on your big wedding day. Or maybe you get a greeting. So, hey, dude, it's about time you put that ring on her finger. But right next to the phone, is a QR code. So your guests can also scan that code, leave a message for you guys either before or after the ceremony. And what they do is collect all those voices. I call it the gift of voice because I know I'm going to love hearing my friends and family. And it might be really funny to hear what they say. No, in my case, I've been married 3 times. I probably get a message. Are you going to stick? I can hear it now. But definitely. So their plans only start at $99 and you get the phone number, okay, for 1 year. They take all those messages, they will either burn it on a 12-inch vinyl record, or there is a keepsake speaker box that you can have, and they put all the messages on there, which is great. So, say you're celebrating the 1 year anniversary, you take out that top layer of your wedding cake, you start to eat it, and then maybe it's the record you put on, and you're just listening and laughing. Hey, you know, so it's good vibes and good energy. But to learn more about Life on Record, please visit them at www.lifeonrecord.com. All right, well, let's jump into this. We're gonna have fun with it. And I'm gonna say, excuse me, guys. I just got out of the hospital, so I'm like always blowing my nose.
Listen, I get.
So who is Domo? I like your name. Let's talk about Domo. And you don't hear it much.
I know. Okay, so I gotta be 100% honest. So Domo is my nickname. My legal name is Dominique, but nobody knows how to ever say it. They always say Dominique, and I'm like, that's not my name. So I just go by Domo. Keep it simple, keep it short, and hopefully, prayerfully, they catch on to repeating right after me. But who is Domo? Let me tell you, I'm not just that person. We trying to make it. Like, I'm that one that's just trying to make it. I'm that one that I like to prove people wrong. Like, I do have a disability, and with that comes with a stigma of um what's a nice way to say it? You can't really do much. So I'm that one like, oh, I can't. Hold on. Let me just wait, hold that thought. Let me prove to you what I can do. I'm that one.
Yes, yes, because a disability should not range you as a person. So, and a lot of times, even working for a company or whatever, it comes across, oh, well, she really has that, so she must not know how to do her job. You
Yeah.
know what? Hey, I'll be the one to advocate. I do my job very well and I go above and beyond and want more work. So how am I not doing my job right? You know? But I
Right.
think in society we get labeled and it really stinks.
Yeah, it does. Definitely so. I agree.
So
100%.
with your I was reading a little bit with having the disability. I want to make sure I ask this right. What was it on? I know in my past I've had, and I still do, gastric issues. Was it somewhere along those lines or
So I had a brain tumor.
brain
It
tumor?
wasn't
Okay.
cancerous. Yeah, it wasn't cancerous. It was benign, but it was slow growing. So it affected my right side. I had muscle weakness and permanent nerve damage, and I was deaf in my right ear for a little bit. And it just affected my mobility. I couldn't feel on my right side. So those were kind of like the signs of noticing like, something ain't right. So when I went to the doctor, they said you in fact do have a tumor. It's not cancerous, but it's a slow growing, and they couldn't take it all out because it was on my neck spine. And if they touched it, then I would either be like paralyzed permanently. I would have like a permanent condition, or I'd be no longer living. So with that came with just a lot of the muscle weakness and nerve damage. And right now, I have foot braces that I wear to help me with my balance because I am considered a fall risk. And I do use
Mhm.
a walker. So it things like that are the some of the effects of having my brain tumor.
Wow, definitely. And it's so scary because, when you talked about not feeling your right hand side, sometimes, you know, those symptoms could be like they'll go, oh, does she have a stroke? Let's get her to the hospital. And the MRI picks up absolutely nothing. But you're the one who feels it. It's like,
Yeah.
but it's still there. I still feel paralyzed of why, what is the
Yes.
cause? But unfortunately, it saddens me. A lot of us will be, we can't figure it out, so go. But in your case, they were able to catch the tumor. I guess was that through a MRI or did they have to do a deeper one, like a PET scan?
So with me, I was the story how the story went, how it all kind of came about was I was at my dad's house, and I'm 9 years old, so I'm playing with stuff, just being a kid. And he kind of noticed when I would get in the car, I reached over with my left hand to close the door. And he was like, okay, that's very different, but all right. And then I would drink and it would come out my right side because I couldn't feel. And then he would call my name from the right side. I couldn't hear. And then I think what took it is when he tapped me on my shoulder and I didn't feel it. And he's like, oh, so you're not listening. Oh, okay. And I'm like, no, Dad, like I really can't feel. So those were the signs of like, wait a minute, something's kind of like not right. And he honestly thought that I did have a stroke because I had stroke-like symptoms.
Yeah.
But what it was is my tumor was pressing against that muscle, that nerve of my mobility.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I did have an MRI test. I my dad took me to the hospital like immediately once he kind of noticed, and did tests, MRIs for a good like 6 7 hours just to make sure, and come find out that I had a tumor, not cancerous, thank you. It's called benign, but I had a tumor, but it was pressing up against. It's like, how can I explain it? It's like on my brain, but it's also on my neck. So it was like in two different spaces. So they took it out on my brain part, but on my neck spine, that's where kind of like the damage was a lot. Because that's where all your nerves are, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm learning that very quick. I
Yeah.
I have lost my whole left side of my leg. I can't feel it. My face will go numb. And like it's so funny because I'm my own worst critic. Like I'll tell my neurologist my lip feels higher up. I have a droopy eye, but it doesn't come out stroke whatsoever. And I'm like, well, what is it? Well, it's TIA maybe, but we don't know. And I
Mhm.
go, will you just watch my episode? Like, can you see what I see? And it's like I want a way to fix it, but no, it's a part of me. But it's more as you can hear about different health issues and you know, I wouldn't be surprised if doctors tried to look for everything else also in you to make sure it wasn't just the brain tumor. Because it seems to me when you have no feeling, they'll go, okay, it's a nerve, it's this, we're going to do this test. I mean, right now I sit here with the transmitter in my back to help me with my leg, and I don't think it does anything. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, I've tried and tried and tried, but I keep thinking maybe I should just take it out because I do have to charge myself like a cell phone every week for about 2.5
Mhm.
hours.
Oh man.
Yes.
Well with me, I'm grateful that and in fact it was my tumor because and I say that because the effects that I had, like the muscle weakness, like the no feeling and
Yeah.
the deafness, it did come back when the tumor was removed, but it just
Nice.
didn't come back fully. And that time span of me not knowing and of the pressure of my tumor, that was where the muscle weakness because it was pressing against it for so long. Who knows how long? But when they found it, they removed what they could, but there was a time span where I didn't know. And it was like a
Yeah.
gradual. So my right side wasn't growing, on my left side was growing and now it is, but there was some damage from the unknown of it being, you know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful
Yeah.
for that, but it's still I still have some residue.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sorry, what age were you with that surgery?
Now I had it twice. So I was 9, I was 14, my second surgery. At 16, I did radiation for 5 weeks, 5 days a week. And at 22, I did 6 years of chemotherapy.
Whoa. I mean, are they saying it's still there a little bit and trying to grow? And I mean,
Well, during that time, because they did tell me ahead of time that my tumor was slow growing. So every 5 years it would grow back. So I was cognizant of that. I knew it was coming. And now, because of the radiation and the chemo, it stopped growing what I have left. But I still have to get it monitored to make sure that it doesn't grow. Because it is a slow growing tumor. That's the kind of tumor I have. But it hasn't grown. My last chemo treatment was about 6 years ago, and it hasn't grown since. And I
well,
just got
that's a
my
good
MRI. Yeah, I'm super grateful. I just got my MRI test last week, actually, and there was no growth, so I'm grateful for that. But
that's really
it is,
good.
yeah, I'm super grateful. So what the process that I did take worked, and I'm grateful for that. And now I just live with the residue. I make it work though.
Yeah, I like that spirit. I got to learn that spirit very quick too. So you probably are a mentor to me.
I will. I'll
So,
be that. I'll be that.
oh, that's good. That's really good because part of it is when a doctor says they do find something and you will need a surgery for it, but they're not 100% sure how to do it, and you have to be watched, until you can get insurance and then taken care of. I think it lets the mind wander, what is the red flags I need to look out for. So they told me at the hospital, these are the red flags, get yourself back quickly. But then it becomes a question of where do I go? It's like
Right.
who really sees me, who will take on this project? Because I got told it was a life-threatening surgery. And it's something that even though I'm sitting back, I pray right now for any doctor, nurses, surgeons that will have to help me get through this. So,
Mhm.
but it was done by, I don't know. I know how it happened and I'm not happy, but my bypass surgery was done wrong.
Oh.
So, with that being said, its ugly little thing appeared, I think that was in 20. Here we are in 24. That came about 4 years ago. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things, and journeys are journeys, but it's all about your mindset. How can you accept this and move on in life day to day, knowing that there may be challenges ahead still? So, is there any advice that you can give listeners right now about how to get that headspace in the right headspace?
Yeah, yeah. Sure. So for me personally, I rely on my faith a lot
Hmm.
because just a simple fact that I'm still alive. Like there's a reason why I'm here.
Hmm.
Because all the stuff that I've been through ain't nothing take me out yet. What? That's something to be grateful for just in itself. Like, you mean to tell me there's people that's been through the same stuff, if not worse, and they didn't make it, but I'm still here? What? Can't nothing stop me. And that's literally like my mindset. Um, I kind of view things as I'm going through it, but I'm not gonna stay in it. It's just a
Yeah.
seat. So I would encourage people to have the mindset that um you're alive for a reason. Um, so you can't die. Like you can't be taken out because you're here for a purpose. Like your purpose is maybe you are the example of how to stay strong. Maybe you're literally the living example to help someone to make it.
Yeah.
Literally. You're
I
because some people need visual. Some people you can't just talk about it. Some people need like, no, I need to see because I can't make it. Like, I don't know. And a lot of times for people that do live with disabilities and medical complications, that's all we see because we don't know nothing else outside of that. But if you
exactly.
see someone that's also dealing with something and they're making it, they're smiling, they're hopeful. It's like, okay, well, they're not dealing with the same thing. They're dealing with stuff. Maybe I could do that too. Just maybe.
It's hard. I always call it the invisible illness. There's times my pain level can be a 10 plus, and I just want to scream, but since 2002 and even younger than that, I've been going through chronic pain. But
Mhm.
it's like my system has learned not to just be a ball sack of crying, crying, crying. So if I do go to the ER and I go, I have severe pain and I'm not crying, oh, there's no way that's true?
Yeah.
I remember I was in severe pain and the doctor came in. I mean, when you can't feel your leg and you feel paralyzed and you can't feel here from here, he goes, I'm going to give you Tylenol. And I'm like, Tylenol. No. I had to be like, that's not going to help me. You can give it to me, but I'm going to need something to where I can lift my leg and feel it again. Tylenol, sorry. So,
Yeah, no, I get that too for sure. I would say do research. A lot of times doctors they just study it, but they don't know how you feel. For me, I was very, very, very stern and adamant with my doctors whenever I would go because I'm like, you can't tell me how I feel. You
yeah,
can't tell
they
me.
can't.
And there was a lot of times where I would come in. and they would say, kind of similar to your situation. And I would have the knowledge because I did research on what I'm dealing with. So I would tell them, no, this is what I need specifically, boom, 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 ABC. And they're like, oh, snap. Because you can't tell me more than I know myself. Like, you can't tell me about me more than I know. No, no, you
Yeah.
don't live with it. You just study it.
Yeah, definitely. I had one doctor, he said a comment and he goes, "My wife has the same thing as you. The pain she goes through, I know what you're going through." And he goes, "I hope this helps." And it did. Whatever that pain, it cleared it up. And I was able to say, okay, I'm not ready to go home.
Right.
Can we format that little thing or whatever he gave me into a pill that we can take it? But for a lot of chronic pain sufferers, a lot of people used our one medicine that was helping us out and abused it, and people died from it. But now we sit back going, we got to pay this awful price, and be in pain because of that negligence. So,
Yeah, I definitely get that for sure. It's hard, but I definitely think it goes back to, your mindset. It's not so much what you deal with, it's how you deal with it.
yeah,
Because
definitely.
everybody's
And it's
dealing with something.
Yep, everybody has a different way of doing everything. And just, we're talking about mindset really quick. I want to ask you another question. I promise we're
Okay.
going to get back into it. Have you ever seen these? They're usually on
Yes.
Facebook, the pink bracelet, and I have black one. It says hope. Okay. These are called
Yes.
snap bands. And, even through chronic pain, I'll use both of mine at the same time. They have an elastic here. I'm going to kind of go over this, but this pink one that I got has the word faith. Now, they don't make the name Faith, but they will if you use a promo code called KHA, Keep Hope Alive. So just really
Okay.
quickly, I'm going to kind of go into the world of snap bands. So the world is a stressful place for everyone with work, school, relationships, health issues, finances, the nightly news. There's anxiety every day. Negative thoughts can keep popping in our head over and over again. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of anyone loving me. Bad things always happen to me. If you ever have these types of thoughts, you're not alone. More than 40 million Americans are diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. Anxieties, worries, and fears can stop you from finding inner peace and achieving your true potential. You deserve your best life. Finally, there's a new bracelet called Snap Bands that was invented to help you reduce anxiety, control OCD, and calm stress. Snaps can't talk. Snap Bands are a cognitive behavioral therapy tool based on proven brain neuroscience, and the way Snap Bands works is amazing. Snap Bands bracelets look like a stylish piece of jewelry on your wrist, but its unique design actually hides a secret elastic band that sits on your inner wrist, which is the pressure point of your brain's nervous system. When you give this elastic a little tug, you feel a very gentle, soft vibration on your wrist. A gentle physical sensation is all you need to reduce that anxiety. And here's why. Did you know that the human brain can only deal with one emergency at a time? Well, whenever you feel an unwanted negative thought in your head, gently snap the elastic on your inner wrist. It forces your brain to refocus on the gentle physical sensation you feel, which will take away basically the negative thoughts. Now, they come with 7 different mantra words. 8 if you have the promo code for faith, but those 7 ones are believe, blessing, dream, fearless, hope, love, and peace. So when you're using your snap bands, you could say, you know what? I believe in myself. I am a blessing. I am fearless, or I will always have hope. The great thing, I've had mine on for over a month, and it does like reset the way I think. I use it for prayer to to when the doctors come in. I don't care. I'll share this story. I do this for the person who has to stick the IV because I'm a hard stick. Please God, let him or her get it in one try. But it's my little prayer, and I have a little keep hope alive. So I use it that way. So all these bracelets, they come in many different colors. I've seen brown, of course, black, pink, blue, white, green, and stuff like that. And you can choose the stigma word that resonates with you. They are waterproof. I can do the dishes, take a shower in them. They are made from a vegan leather. So if you do have sensitive skin, it won't affect that. But please check out their website at www.snappbands.com. And that is spelled SNAPPBANDZ.com. If you want the word faith, remember the promo code is KHA. Every sale, they give a portion to the leading mental health organizations, the SNAP out of stigma. So check them out. All right, Doma, thank you so much.
Oh yeah, you're
But I
welcome.
think
You're very welcome.
they're very interesting because, anybody going through challenges like this, it helps. It reinforces our thinking. I know people will say, keep a journal, write down day by day. And I was listening to a seminar, and doctors actually like when you write down your symptom. And I tried that. I handed a piece of paper. I did this for 7 days. Oh, thank you. It was like, my voice not good enough, right? It's like, but I have it written down. So I'm learning
Right,
little
right,
by
right.
little. And, I interviewed another lady on my podcast, and she wrote a book on how to do your medical records. But in the book, she has the link to go there to help build it because every doctor is going to want to see it. So you
Mhm.
can work on that project as well. And it's amazing. So it's so
Yeah.
different. I just wanted to share that. So,
I love that.
but the chemotherapy, I mean, it would be so hard for me to imagine what that feels like. Is it kind of like infusions where you have to go and sit there and they just pump it through you for an hour or two? How does that work?
Yeah, that's literally what I did for 6 years. The first year actually I did injections and I did chemo pills. So I was all jacked up. I was jacked and I did it for every 2 weeks. So it was a lot. Because again, like I don't have cancer, but I had to be treated like a cancer patient. And also because I didn't have cancer, they were like, we don't really know how to treat this. So we're just going to try everything for a year and we're going to see how your body reacts. So it was considered indefinite. That's why I did it for 6 years. Cause they was like, we're not really, we can't do surgery where I did it twice. You can't do surgery in the same spot 3 times. We already did the most aggressive radiation treatments. Can't do that again. So your best bet right now is chemotherapy. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right. My first question, a lot of people be like, well, how did it feel? And I was like, well, my first question was, is my hair gonna fall out? Because I don't care about nothing else. Like, I just want to know, am I still gonna have my hair or not? Because it took me a long time to grow it. So I'm grateful that it didn't, my hair did not fall out at all. But I
Good.
was extremely tired. That metal taste is the worst ever. I had to stop working. I had to stop driving. I was pretty much down. Like if I did chemo for like on a Monday, I would be down from that Monday to probably about that Thursday. And then I would have like my weekend, but then I would have to go back and do the blood work and do all the testing to make sure I was able to do it. It's so weird because you're sick, but you have to be healthy enough to get chemo. But you're sick. It's like, what? You're
And you
sick,
gotta
but
be healthy enough to get, that
yeah,
doesn't make
like you can't
sense.
be too sick, but you sick, but you can't be like you can't be like you can't have a cold.
Oh,
but you got the chemo. It's like very crazy. If I had a cold, if I had any type of anything, if my system wasn't like clear, they'd be like, yeah, you can't do chemo. I'm like, what? I'm already sick, so I can't be sick. I gotta be well to be sick to what in the what? Yeah.
oh my gosh, that it's hard, definitely. But you know what? I love that you can smile now, tell your story because you're a positive person. I love that. So,
Thank you.
the word disabled, it's such a hard thing to define with people. I mean, for like me, does it make me disabled? I can't feel my leg, Those are good questions. So how did they define disabled and call you that?
Well, this is a funny question. Personally, I don't get offended when people say I have a disability or if someone calls me disabled because I am, and I'm okay with that. Um,
Mm,
can't do what able bodies can do, and I know that. And also, I can't get offended, but I personally can't get offended by someone labeling me as having a disability or disabled, but I want all the benefits. Like that don't make no
yeah.
sense. You want all the benefits of being disabled and have a disability, but you don't want to be called it? No, I'm okay with being called it because I want to show you what someone with a disability looks like, how we live. I want to break again my whole who is Domo, I break the stigma. So yeah, I have a disability. Yeah, I'm disabled, but make sure when you say I have a disability and I'm disabled, make sure you add on what I've done with having a disability and being disabled. Don't knock me. Don't knock my
Yeah.
credits now. Make sure you add that in there. I got a disability, yet I'm an author, yet blah, dot dot dot. So I don't
Yes,
get
you
offended.
are.
See, like
We
I don't. It
we'll
don't
get
offend.
brought down, but we're gonna bring awareness. That's like the podcast is my baby. I don't think I'll ever be an author yet, but maybe in the future. But doing a podcast, I know you have your own podcast. Tell us about that.
I do. So, I've been doing my podcasting for 5 years, basically since the pandemic started. I wanted to create a space for people with disabilities and medical conditions, giving them an opportunity to share their story beyond how they break the stigma beyond their condition. So my podcast is called 1 Billion Brave, and it pretty much represents the 1 billion people of the world that do have a disability and or medical condition. And the unique thing about my podcast is one of we're live stream, but I only interview people with medical conditions and disabilities. Nobody else is sorry, you don't qualify.
Yeah, definitely.
If you don't have a medical condition or a disability, or if you're a essential caregiver like a nurse or
Hmm.
anything of that sort, yeah. And I don't know any story about my guests before. I meet all my guests 10 minutes before the show. So when we're live is when I hear your story for the first time. I
I
I
love it.
meet you like, hey, how's it going? Okay, you ready to go live? All right, let's go.
Yeah, and I find that a good practice. I'll get everybody's bio, I'll read it. There's only been like two or three that I'll watch a YouTube video from, but we can't do that where we're going on dates either. Like I compare, hey, I need to watch a whole YouTube video on you before I go on a date with you. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I want to learn from my guest. So there's different things. I see everybody as being their own self, their own person. I'm
Yeah,
interviewing you. It's just
yeah,
things outside in the world can happen and different, but we are all special. We're all God's children. And we move forward and bring awareness and make it very special. But your podcast, how often does it come on?
So I do a live stream every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Every Tuesday, I go live on Facebook and YouTube. And yeah, just like kind of how yours is. However, come out. We ain't
It
breaking.
comes out.
Ain't no. ain't no nothing. Like ain't no filters, ain't no breaking it up. Ain't no. We live.
Yeah, that's how I like it. If I say something stupid or funny on here, I'll laugh at myself.
That's it.
Hey, I messed up.
That's what makes it
So,
real. That's what makes it
yeah,
honest. That's what makes it pure.
exactly, exactly. Now you are also a publisher of 5 books. Did I read that right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, technically 4 books and a coloring book, but I published 5 total. Yeah. I told myself on book 1 that I wasn't gonna do nothing else, and here I am on book number 5. Here I
That's
am.
awesome. So the great thing about the books on my website, um, I have a storefront, so I'll be putting your books there so people can purchase
Thank
it as well. So
thank
definitely,
you.
because you're watching a show and then, hey, let's go over and see. And I'm gonna put at it. Tell me more about that coloring book. Is it just like a relaxation coloring book?
So personally, I like to color. That's like my kid zone. I'm never gonna
Yeah.
grow old in that. That's just it's something that my grandma and I used to do, and it just kind of became a thing for me. But I wanted to create a coloring book specifically for the children because a lot of times kids only only see able bodies, like they're not really too familiar with seeing something different. So I created a coloring book called Don't Let the Disability Fool You, and every page has someone with a disability being active. So for instance, one of the coloring books is of a kid in a wheelchair playing basketball,
Yeah.
and I wanted them to get like familiar with seeing a little bit different, but getting comfortable at a young age to say like,
Yeah.
okay, the world has a lot of different people. That doesn't make them any unique or scary, but understand that you're not going to just see you everywhere.
Exactly, exactly. And for me, I don't let anything on my end ever stop me. I love dancing. I will
Mhm.
continue to dance even though it hurts.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll take a small break and it's just my body saying, "Oh, we got to give up," and another good song comes up. No, no, we got to get out and dance. Maybe this exercise, and then the next day I'm like, I should have never done that.
Right,
It's just
right.
one of those things you kind of learn as you go. So, but that's a great concept for the coloring book to show the world that, we are still able to do things and be proactive. So I love that idea. So now,
Mhm.
do you help out in the disabled community as well?
Okay, so like I'm not an advocate. That's just something that I just don't do. I don't know how to talk like an advocate. I'm just the person that has a disability that's just like there's more life to live. I'm that type of person like, girl,
Yes,
I understand you're dealing with something, but you still here. So let's focus on that. Um,
exactly.
but everything I do is surrounded because of my disability. Everything that I've done and are doing has stemmed from me having a disability. So it's not something that I don't know. It's something that I'm currently still dealing with and have been through. So it's a personal type of thing. Like I know what I'm talking about because I deal with it just like you.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Oh my goodness. That's great though. You're a warrior. That's what
Thank
you are.
you. You are too. You are
We
too.
have to be. I feel bad if I ever have to cancel a podcast. I'm learning about that through my heart and soul. If it was up to me, I'd bring my laptop right into the hospital and just do it from the bed. And,
Yeah.
it's like if I die one day, I'm still going to be doing podcasts. Nothing's going to shut me up.
Right.
So, but when you find that passion, I call this God's calling on my end, I still want to be doing it no matter what. But yes, I am a sensitive person. I want to be there. I never have to reschedule. But sometimes, you know how they say you got to listen to your body and just follow those instructions. You know, if there's something major going on, there's something major. So,
So
but
true.
definitely. So kind of like looking back at everything, we went over your books. Now, did you have them on Amazon also, or are they just through your website?
Yes, everything's on Amazon. They're all on my website because I just want to make it simple for everyone to go in one spot. But
Okay.
everything is connected to the Amazon link. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we'll get those added, and then your podcast is amazing. I love that. So,
Thank
do you
you.
do like Zoom coaching as well? Like, can people reach out to you?
Okay, so I am you just put me on the spot for real, for real. Okay, so
Hey,
I'm
I'm
a
about to do
certified.
it. I'm asking you because I'm about to do relationship coaching, and I'm gonna, guys, I'm gonna be adding that onto my website. But I like to know. It's a good
No, I
question.
it's not a bad thing at all. It's not a bad thing because I've been toying with this. So I am a certified coach. Like I really am. I have 5 certifications specifically in disability confidence. My thing is I don't know how to talk to people for that long.
Well, cut it down to like I got 25, 30 minutes. This is it. This is the topic. And do like four, four times out of the week for 30 minutes and just
That
do
is
it.
such a long time to just talk. I think with me, like if someone wants to talk about, something that they're dealing with regarding disability, I don't have no problem talking, but the coaching part, like a
Yeah.
continual thing I gotta deal with one person for like a continual, I'm just not there yet. I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, get it together. You're still alive. All right, get out there. That's and you can't do that with people because although I have a disability, everybody's mindset living with it is different.
Yeah.
Everybody's mindset is living with it is different. And I have to put that into play like, girl, you've dealt with this for so long. Your mindset is a little different compared to someone that is new or
Everybody's energy is different. So when it
I'm
comes to,
I gotta get there though. I'm gonna get there, but I am certified, but I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there.
yes, I'm a certified life coach and relationships. I get a lot of people asking questions one on one, and I'm just like, God, how am I going to do this? I would love to help them out, but I'm very empathic too. So what energy they have can be brought on to me. So I got to set boundaries, but give advice. So I always leave that in prayer going, okay, is this going to happen? Is it not going to happen? So,
Yeah.
but I noticed some of the people with podcasts have offered coaching services. So I try to ask that to everybody I interview and
No, I
everything.
get it.
So,
I get it. I'm not I may get there, but
yeah,
as of right
it's
now,
kind of like being a motivational speaker. Oh, do you go out? No, I just sit here with my Zoom. That's as most as I get
that's
out.
it. That's it. As much motivation as you're gonna get from me. Because I think my thing is like, for me, this is just me personally. My disability is not like it's not like my main life. So
Yeah,
personally, I don't like to keep talking about it. Like that's the only thing that is worth who I am.
yeah,
So my mindset is like, if I'm dealing with people that deal with that, I don't want them to feel like that's the only thing like there's so much more to your life than just dealing with a disability. Like you have so much more in you. And I don't know if I'm there yet to just keep talking about because
yeah.
I barely talk about myself. I barely talk about my own self. That's why I have a show where I interview other people because I tried to have a show just about me, and I got to 2 episodes in, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't do this.
Yeah, that's
I can't
kind
do
of
this."
It's so funny because people will go, "Have you listened to your own show?" And I go, "No, I really, I haven't." And it's so funny. I'll go to my room and my Amazon will come up and said, Hope Keep Hope Alive just added a new show. Would you like to listen to it? And I'm like, no. Like I wish I could just tell Alexa,
I'm the
I'm the one
same
I
way. I am the
that
same. I can't listen to myself like that.
it's so funny. There is a couple shows I ended up listening to, and I remember the first one I listened back to because it scared me. And it was about the haunted mineral
Oh,
house out there, Mineral Wells, Texas. And I was like, wow, this was a great show. And then, when I do the sound bites for everybody, I love listening back to those because it's put on Instagram, it's put on TikTok, it will be put
mhm.
on Facebook. And then I have the show posted like on Facebook too.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's one of those things seeing me on TV or, going, I could have
Mhm.
done my hair better. I could have done because I'm my own worst critic. And, here's the thing, I got my glasses on. I need new glasses, but have I had time to go get them? No. But, I'm at the point. I just don't care. This is Nadine.
Yeah.
This is who you get.
Yeah.
Just
Take
like the
you as you
world
are.
gets.
Take you as you are. Exactly.
Exactly, exactly. So I wanted to make sure I covered everything with you because I mean, you have just been everywhere. Do you have any plans in the future to do anything different?
I definitely want to get into focusing more on like the kids. So I probably want like I want to get into like maybe doing a cartoon or maybe
Oh,
having
cool.
like a coloring book series. I don't know, like I kind of want
Okay.
to because I was a kid having a disability. So I know that area of life too. And I know how I was when I was in the hospital for like months and stuff and I would have people come in. I didn't really have people my age that were familiar that kind of understood. So I know where kind of like quote unquote the lack is, I guess I would say, for someone that looks
Yeah,
like me. And I kind of want to be that person because again, I've been through it. So I know what that looks like.
gotcha. I like the cartoon idea too. That would be great to see.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that kids should watch that instead of these kids going to school and not knowing much about other people. And, it comes to bullying too, I think, at school.
Yeah.
And, I think if people had more awareness, they wouldn't hurt other people's
Mhm.
feelings by
Mhm.
even having a disability. I remember while I do this, I think it's because my mom did it to me, driving me to school every day. She would try to embarrass me, whether it was dancing in the car. She would like to sing that song, Red, Red Wine. And now when I take my son to school, I'm like, we saw somebody driving with their chin on the steering wheel like this. And
Yeah,
I go,
yeah, yeah.
oh, let me practice this, and he's like, Mom, please don't. I go, it's your mom. I can
Right,
do what I
right.
want.
What they gonna do? What they gonna say? Who's gonna say
I
something?
was like, when I dropped your sister off, I would unroll the windows and sing as loud as I could, just have fun with
Right.
it and be like, I love you. I
Hmm.
love you. But I want to make sure if they want to find your website and your email, I know I'll have that information there, but would you like to tell people now about your
Oh yeah, sure.
website?
Sure, definitely. So you can find me on my website is www.thedomojones.com. Social media, IG, I am Domo Jones on Facebook, Domo Jones. Pretty much Domo Jones. We're gonna
Domo
keep it
Jones.
simple all across the board, make it easy to find me. Domo Jones. You will find me everywhere.
Oh, that's awesome. And I love how you shortened it up. I mean, my name, no, go to Starbucks and say your name is Nadine. It always comes out Nadia. I was like, that's my brother's wife's name. I said Nadine, or they spell it like Nadeem,
Yeah.
and you know, my nickname at karaoke they call me Jersey Girl, so I'm like Jersey. And they look at me, I was like, you guys can't spell my real name. So
I get that too. People say Dominic, like I'm a boy. I'm like, that did you hear me say that? So how did you
yeah,
come up with the what?
it's just the funniest thing. I want to be a smart butt and be like, yeah, my name is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You spell that on my cup, you got
Right,
it.
right. Then you can't spell nobody else's name right.
They
Oh
probably put
yeah.
one big S. That'd
Right.
be funny. I should try them out on that and get it taped. But
Yeah,
quickly,
for
also,
sure.
I wanted to thank our other sponsors for Keep Hope Alive that keep this afloat. As I mentioned, we had lifeonrecord.com, your interactive guest book. We also had snapvans.com, the bracelet that helps reduce anxiety and OCD. I'm going to throw PTSD in there and everything. Check them out. Remember that code is KHA for Keep Hope Alive if you want the mantra word faith. Our next one is Ogden Ventures LLC. Marcus Ogden is a former NFL player, a keynote speaker, best-selling author, and podcast host. Reach him at www, and I'm going to spell it. Marquise is Marcus. I call it because there's a Q. Marquise. It was like the China I used to serve when I worked at Macy's. But it's MarQues. Last name Ogden, OGDEN.com. Our next one is bridalshowsinc.com. If you are planning an event in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, they host about maybe 5 to 6 different trade shows for you guys to meet different vendors as they showcase their work and everything. But look at their next one, the next big bridal Dallas one. I think it's always at the end of July. So our next sponsor is Miles and Smiles Events.com. Miss Deborah Rose, her background is investigator, but for her events, she's a handwriting analysis and lipstick reader, and she is 100% accurate. You could tell her whatever the event you're hosting, she will put her talents in there to make it fun for all your guests. Our next one is Bryce Harney, website www.brycemagic.com. You've probably seen him on TV. He is a magician and mind mentalist, and a good one at that. So he does the corporate events. I know he's done churches before. I tell people, hey, just go on YouTube or his website and watch him in action. It's amazing. Our next one is richmondpunch.net. He graduated from the Juilliards. He's a violinist. He's been at it for, I think, over 30 years now, but he has performed in front of 1 million people before, had 2 spots on Lifetime shows for playing the violin in the background. So check him out. Now, if you have questions for Domo or myself, you can always reach us at 833-780-HOPE. Those ending numbers for Hope is 4673. You can visit us online at www.keephopealivepodcast.com, and wherever you find your podcast, you will be able to find us. With many more, we're in season 15 already. I'm so excited. We have a full guest lineup going into April already. So I'm very excited about that. But Domo, thank you so much for being on the show. And it was such a fun pleasure. You have high energy and you brought so much goodness to the world. So keep going. I wanted to follow up with you too and see where you're at, because whether it's more coloring books or maybe you have another book, who knows?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I have fun. I definitely want to encourage you to keep on with this podcast. You're gonna reach a lot of
I
people.
will. I will. I promise. I
Yeah.
promise you that. Okay, guys, until our next show, love and light. Bye bye.